I wish I slept sooner that night. It was one of those countless nights when sleep eluded me entirely. My phone's blue glow illuminated my face as my thumbs drifted, scrolling through endless feeds, desperately hunting for something, even a single snap, a meme, a joke, that might catch my attention enough to lull me into relaxation. Just another typical episode of my insomnia, or so I thought, until a sound changed the course of my entire existence. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I'm Brianna, an ordinary high school teenager. My life has been a routine mix of school, friends, crushes, and the usual teenage drama. Since childhood, my existence has been pretty typical. I grew up with loving parents, my mom, a devoted Christian, and my dad, who shares her faith but is less religious. I also have a little brother who's always demanding attention. My days were as mundane as they come, filled with family meals, homework, after-school activities, and the occasional drama in the hallway. Nothing extraordinary ever seemed to happen, until that night. That night marked the beginning of a terrifying nightmare that would change everything. It was around 3 in the morning, and for the past 4 days sleep had been elusive until at least 5 in the morning. I knew I had a couple more hours to go before the familiar heaviness would finally settle over my eyelids. Frustrated with the endless tossing and turning, I decided to put my phone away, set it on the nightstand, and try to get some rest. As soon as I closed my eyes, a sudden sound jolted me awake. Footsteps echoed faintly outside my bedroom door. My heart hammered against my ribs, and I reassured myself that it must have been my mom getting up to use the restroom, as she does every night. Yet the footsteps did not stop, another set began, heavier and more deliberate, as if someone were moving with purpose. I assumed it was my dad, but a nagging thought crept into my mind: what could they possibly be doing up at 3 a.m.? I tried to shake off the unease, forcing myself back into darkness, hoping the silence would return. But then, unmistakably, the front door creaked open. A surge of adrenaline shot through me. The realization hit me like a cold wave: there could be intruders in the house. The footsteps I had assumed were my parents might belong to strangers. Panic set in, and I was frozen with dread. Little did I know, the truth awaiting me was far more terrifying than anything I could have imagined. 30 minutes passed, and the only sounds that filtered through my bedroom walls were the faint rummaging of items somewhere in the hallway, fueling my suspicion of intruders. Yet something didn't add up. I heard my mom's voice, a soft, familiar murmur that contrasted sharply with my doubts. All sorts of thoughts raced through my mind. Could they be home early? Had something happened at church? Was there a fire alarm that forced them to wake? Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to witness. An hour had slipped by, and I finally mustered all the courage I had left. Frozen in terror for the past hour, I decided it was enough. I needed answers to the questions swirling in my head. I slipped out of bed, my feet barely making a sound on the cold wooden floor. My heart pounded louder than any drum I'd ever heard. I approached the bedroom door, my hand trembling as it reached for the knob. The door handle was cold as ice, sending a shiver up my arm as I gripped it firmly. Slowly, I pressed it downwards, desperate to make as little noise as possible. The hinges creaked softly, and as the door inched open, the noises beyond became unmistakably clear. The sound of chanting filled the air, growing louder and more ominous with each repetition.